This next one is from The Gamer, published May 10th, 2025. Talking about a game that I have no idea how old Bloodborne is, but we're in 2025 with people saying shit like games like Bloodborne should be nicer when you die. They're trying to wrap the entire gaming space in bubble wrap. That's what they're trying to do, bro. They're trying to helicopter mom the fuck out of gaming. God forbid you skin your fucking knee. Oh, man. They think you're being shit on by Bart coming in with a cake that says at least you try it, but that's the thing. Failure is one step away from success. Like, if you never try, you never succeed anyway. But what do you gain when you fail? Experience. Now you know what not to do. Now you know how to do something faster. Now you know what your mistakes were. And you just keep doing that over and over again until you get to a point where you're like, damn, I know this fight now. I know I'm dying, but I'm really close to beating this shit. Don't get me wrong, that shit can be fucking annoying. Because in Hollow Knight, I fought Nightmare Grimm, the red version of him, and I was having a blast, right? I liked that boss fight. And then I fought the fucking, what's it called? The dancing lion in fucking Elden Ring. And I was about ready to kick my fucking TV screen. That boss pissed me the fuck off. But that's because the hitboxes weren't as precise. And it just had a fucking, it was just a damage sponge, man. The hitboxes were unfair. It was a damage sponge. And it was like a multi-phase boss fight. Like, it was fucking annoying. The most unintuitive boss fight ever. The Nightmare Grimm boss fight, as soon as you know his pattern, you pretty much got it because the hitboxes are pretty goddamn precise. There's no hitboxes where the attack comes out before the animation does or any weird shit like that. That's why I enjoy that fight more. Yeah, I died multiple times, but it never felt like I was being hoed at any point. But anyway, it's enough ranting. Has this happened to you? You're slowly making your way through Bloodborne's Forbidden Woods, carefully rolling to take out that sniper who loves to shoot you from the other side of the bridge, slicing your saw cleaver through his guts, then cautiously moving on. You softly step out along the forest trail only to hear a mechanical clank as a spiked log falls loose and swings down from the trees into your hunter. It kills you instantly. As you lie there dying, your echoes pooling on the cobblestone. You see two words appear on the screen in blood red. You died. In the ever-raging debate about whether Fromsoft games are too difficult and or whether they should have an easy mode, a more important question is being overlooked. Namely, should these games hurt my feelings? Bro, I was joking! Holy shit, I was joking! I was fucking joking! This is literally an article about whether or not the game should hurt your feelings. Said plainly, not implied. He just said it. Should these games hurt my feelings? Bro, what the fuck? Oh my god. We have to oppose this. I will unironically invoke the phrase gamers rise up. We can't go out to clowns like this. We can't. Should these games hurt my feelings? Are you fucking serious? They'll never win. It's impossible. Once the community catches wind of this, they're fucking cooked. Saying you died hurts your feelings. Stating a fact, man, your HP has been reduced to 0. Just start over again from the fucking lamp. You died and that's okay. I thought about this a lot last year when I played through Silent Hill 2. I tackled Blooper Team's remake in one of the 2 ways you're legally required to play it. Early enough in the morning that it was still dark outside. The other option obviously is late at night, but I love the grind. Those bleary-eyed sessions led me dying more than I probably would have if I was properly caffeinated, which means Silent Hill 2's You Died screen is burned into my brain. I tried to keep James stocked up on his special juice and dirty needles, but it wasn't always easy to find healing items in the game's hellacious apartments and apocalyptic streets. The puker be puking, the grabber be grabbing, and James has gotta run. That was so TikTok Reddit. When you get to a particularly tricky part of any game, you get well acquainted with the game over screen. You know it's coming, and it's usually accompanied by an ominous sound effect to really drive home your failure. When you're taking on a Fromsoft boss over and over, you get used to hammering on the X button, trying to push through this acknowledgement of your failure and getting back to the game as soon as possible to do the whole humiliating ritual all over again. Unfortunately, the truth is that From Software games aren't actually being mean. Then what the fuck is this article? How many times do I ask that whenever I read things like this? Well, The log trap is mean, but in a funny way. I mean, I got lucky. The first time I encountered the log trap, I didn't get hit by it because I just kept sprinting. If you sprint through it, it can't hit you. I wouldn't know that at the time, but I wouldn't die the first time, so I would see it and never die to it since. Oh man, you can easily imagine Hidetaka Miyazaki and the team laughing at each new player who falls for it, like the Jackass crew during the high five prank. And the game over screen isn't particularly nasty. Saying you died isn't unkind per se. It's just truthful and blunt. It kind of reminds me of playing a tough game with an annoying friend on the couch next to you. You're dying a lot. Yeah, thanks for your input, Anthony. Nobody wants to be confronted with their failure unless you want to get better. Now, don't get me wrong. Generally speaking, nobody wants to be confronted with their failure, but a better way of putting that is nobody likes to be confronted with their failure, because anyone who's used to trying difficult things knows that failure is an inevitability. If you want to be anything more than nothing, it's just something you come to grips with. Failure is an inevitability. It's the stepping stone on the way to success. So when a game mocks us or even just plainly states the facts of our performance, it can be difficult to hear. I mean, yeah, but eventually you get the fuck over it. It's fine to play on easy. Games have actually been mean for decades, and realistically we're probably at an all-time high for niceness. The original Wolfenstein games famously showed BJ Blazkowicz sucking a binky in a baby bonnet if you set the game to easy mode, which was called Can I Play Daddy? That trend continued through the most recent entry, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. But that mocking attitude is an outlier in the modern gaming landscape, and frankly, kind of at odds with the tone of the newer games. There's no real shame in knocking a game down to easy in 2024. They must have written this in 2024 and only published it just recently, except for the shame you bring to the experience. The thing is, games being nice doesn't actually ease the frustration. I'm glad he's saying this because I was playing a game called Rip Out, and there's an AI bot on the ship that kind of acts like your emotional support and gives you words of encouragement after each death, but I was playing on hard mode, so that bitch was getting annoying. I'm gonna lie to you. The game was brutal, bro. So after a while, like, it was cool at first. Yeah, I'm gonna get back on the horse and try again. And after a while, bro, yeah, I'm gonna get back on the horse and try again. Slowly turned into shut the fuck up. And looking back on it, it's hilarious, right? It's pretty goddamn funny because you want to think that the fucking developers put that in there for that express purpose, not to actually be encouraging, but because they knew it would eventually get annoying. Thinking about it that way, it is kind of funny. But that shit didn't stop me from going into the volume settings and turning that shit the fuck off. I turned that shit off until I beat the level. I turned it back on. No shame. I was not about to get fucking taunted like this. I was not. When you lose a ton of progress in getting over it with Bennett Foddy, it doesn't help that Foddy in voiceover reads a quote about success requiring repeated failure in dulcet tones. Similarly, I found myself annoyed whenever I died in the week's Revenge of the Savage Planet, but not because the game wasn't nice. No, it was because each death sent me back to my home base on the starting world. Even if I died on a completely different planet, I'd rather a game call me a full diaper baby who will die alone when I die than make me do something repetitive for no good reason. These games can't take the sting out of failure because the sting is something we bring with us. Okay, this article is taking a different turn now, I think, because that shit was a good laugh earlier. It had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. The fucking title feels like clickbait now, right? I thought the shit was serious, but it seems like they're taking a multi-layered approach to this argument, and that's actually a refreshing change of pace. The tenor of gaming culture's discussions around difficulty and getting good can increase or decrease the amount of shame we feel when we're bad at the game, sure. Failure only hurts if you let it. Still, I wouldn't mind if a game started calling me handsome and smart with the Dark Souls game over screen saying, "You have not yet won, you special boy, but you will soon." Surely it really be so much to ask? Yes. Yes, it would. Or better yet, get thicker skin and don't get offended when a game tells you that you failed. Seriously, you call yourselves a bunch of gaming journalists, yet none of you can handle a game saying how bad you are. You can't handle games insulting you. You can't stand criticism from commenters, and you can't handle when a game company does something you don't like. Why are you even in this field of business if all you're going to do is show how upset you get over the smallest of things? Yeah, I'm with Tom on this one. Instead of deleting comments, delete this article. 5 key components of propaganda. 1. Values. That's easy. Games like Bloodborne should be nicer when you die. Didn't even try to hide it. LMAO. 2. Assets, the title. Played completely straight, unlike the rest of the article. It puts the idea out there and plants the first seed in your head, especially for people who don't bother reading the article itself, but scroll past the title. Also, subliminal headers. You died, and that's okay. It's fine to play on easy. Finally, that one particular with the Dark Souls game over screen saying you have not yet won, you special boy, but you will soon surely really be so much to ask. Bit. Final humorous payload that delivers the value in an over-the-top, supposedly non-threatening way. Yeah, but they're completely fucking serious. If you take out the joke, it's simply saying, with the Dark Souls game over screen being nicer really be so much to ask. This is meant to disarm you and make you go, haha, maybe not. Yes, it would be too much to ask. Quit being a bitch. The game saying, can I play daddy, or I'm too young to die, or baby mode is not going to kill you. Just fucking play the difficulty. All this discourse about player choice and playing the way you want to play and yada yada blah blah blah, but the people who can't choose the way they want to play are the people who want a difficult time. Those people don't get to play the way they want to play. 3. Props. Getting Over It, Revenge of the Savage Planet, Silent Hill 2, Jackass, largely red herrings used to come across as more affable and relatable. Most importantly, humor / self-awareness in big fat ass quotation marks. 4. Villain. Mean. Games like Bloodborne or Wolfenstein. 5. Target. Gamers, obviously. Don't delete my comment again, cowards.